Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the presentation today. Presenting today is Angela Han. She is a lawyer and health coach, and her topic is on crushing burnout even when it feels impossible. Angela is a healthcare lawyer and life coach for lawyers' physical, mental, and professional health. To fulfill her life's purpose, she created the Fit to Practice Society, which is a community of lawyers across the country who come together for workouts, yoga, and fireside chats on how to live their dream lives. As the host of Fit to Practice podcast, she interviews lawyers on what it means to be fit to practice and discusses their professional health journey. She assists lawyers with designing their dream lifestyle by creating a system that allows individuals to identify and fulfill their passions in life. By creating unique strategies for each client, she helps individuals focus on all aspects of their well-being while also providing assistance for finding financial freedom through multiple streams of income. Angela, good luck on your presentation. I will try to be back at the end just to help close things out, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, perfect. So welcome to my presentation here. So today's session, as you know, is about crushing burnout, right? And so why don't we go ahead and get started because we don't have that much time. So who is this for? Who is this presentation even for? Like, are you even like supposed to be here? So let me tell you if this is the right fit. So first, like there's so much you want to do, but you feel like there's not enough time. That's like the second one. And you want to do something. Like you're in a place where, okay, I'm not sure what to do, but you want to do something, you want to do something different. But you feel a little stuck somewhere. Whether you're feeling a burnout from maybe even lack of work or too much work or lack of boundaries or whatever it is, we're going to go through all of that stuff today. But before we even get started, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. So my name is Angela Han, and I will be your host today. This is she's 100 days old in this photo, but now she's a year old. And so the goal of this session is to get some clarity and direction on how to get burnout out of your way so you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. So here, I'm very interested to see what you have to say about this. Life is the C between B and D. I wonder if anyone here can tell me in the chat, like, can you guess what C, B, and D stand for, or B, C, D, or whatever? I'm not gonna wait because we're so short on time. So let me tell you. So C stands for choice, B stands for birth, and D, of course, stands for death. So life is the choice between birth and death. So many times we feel controlled and overwhelmed by our circumstances. But I'm going to be real with you today. And I can be a little bit brutal. So if you're, this is not for the faint-hearted. So if you're like, oh my gosh, like that's so offensive, this is not for you. So let me be real with you. Life is a choice between B and D. So even overwhelm, even burnout is a choice. So you get to decide. What will you decide to focus on? What do you want to choose? Because that's going to be the thing that gives you unlimited energy. Because here's the thing. When we feel so overwhelmed by everything that's going on, whether it's deadlines or whether it's lack of deadlines or this or that, or you might not even know what's going on, but there is just this persistent thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here. I feel so stuck. And I guess like people would say, okay, the natural course of action is to just not think that way, to be like, oh, okay, I don't feel overwhelmed. But here's the thing. There's this thing called the law of voids, where the brain is wired so that if you try to delete a thought, it needs something to replace it. So you can't be like, if I feel overwhelmed, that's the thought that you want to get rid of. And so you're like, okay, I'm just not going to think that way. I'm just not going to think that way. But if you push it away, it creates a void in your brain and it's not going to know how to fill it up. So it's going to bring that thought back oh, I am overwhelmed and I'm just like resisting it, but it's like trying to come back because I haven't filled it with a new thought. And that's why reframes are so important. And that's what we're going to be discussing a lot of today. So here's step number 1. Instead of all the overwhelm, instead of all the burnout, what are we going to get instead? Okay, what do you actually desire? What do you want? We know that you don't want burnout, but the question is like, what do you actually desire? Now, again, real talk. I'm going to be really honest with you. Be brutally honest with you. Are you ready? If your answer to this question is I don't know, it's a lazy answer because you do know. You do know. So many times we say that we don't know because even though somewhere deep in our minds, there's something that we really, really, really desire. It could be anything. It could be an executive position. It could be a relationship. It could be $1 billion or whatever. But we are so afraid to desire that because we feel like we can't get it. And so then we don't even think about it. We say, I don't know, because I do know, but I don't think I can get it. That's why the answer is I don't know. So I encourage you to really think hard about what it is that you desire. It doesn't even have to be anything. It doesn't have to be a job or relationship or career or whatever, or money. It can even just be how you want to feel. Totally joyous, completely at peace. That could be something you desire too. So, step 1, what do you desire? We need to know what that is. But I understand. This is why goals are annoying, right? We just talked about this. First, we think, oh, I should have this goal. I should work at that firm. I should get this job. Oh, I should get a good grade, whatever. And then it's like not motivating because it's like, it doesn't like, what do I actually want? Like deep inside. And we're always looking at like the goals that are external, what everybody thinks that we should do. Like if you graduate from medical school, oh, you should be a doctor, of course. But there are a good number of people who don't become doctors and do something else with their medical degree. Same with law. Number 2, why goals are annoying. The question is, what if I fail? That's the easiest kind of like get out of goals card, because if you're going to fail, why do it at all? And that's the thing. Like when we ask this question, what if we fail? It's like, well, like, oh my gosh, I'm such a coward for asking that question. But actually you're not. This question, what if I fail? The fear of failure is actually protecting you. Because it's like an evolutionary thing. Like if you go out and like on the hunt and if you fail, like you don't get food. So you have to make sure that you're not going to fail so that you get food for the night, right? So it's okay to be asking these questions. It's about how we react to them that matters. And of course, number 3, I'm comfortable where I am. There's nothing wrong with being comfortable with where you are. Only if that is exactly all that you ever needed. The question I ask is, are you comfortable with good enough? Since when is good enough all that we deserve? I personally think all of us deserve exactly what it is that we want, and it can be anything in the world. And it might sound idealistic, but only if that's what you believe. So, step 2, let's overcome all of those limiting beliefs about like how we're going to fail and how it's just not the right thing for us by going to step 2. Create a situation where you have no other choice. I just told you I'm a new mom. I guess it's been a year, so I don't know how new that is. But when she was just born last year in March, I was waking up like literally 2 to 3 hours each, like every 2 to 3 hours. And if there's any parents out there, you know about this, like you are forced to wake up every 2 to 3 hours. Like now, if you told me like 2 years ago, like before I had a child, oh, actually you have to wake up every 3 hours to feed a baby, I would have been like, that's crazy. I don't want to do that. Why would I ever do that? But when you do have a baby, when that problem is right in front of you, you're forced to do it and you realize you can do it and you can still survive it. So how can we design our circumstances so that we actually have no other choice? It starts with pain. And here's the pain excavator, right? So this time last year for me, I was in pain. Even like I was around like, it was before the pandemic and maybe like 5 to 6 months pregnant. And I felt at a complete loss. I felt like my business was not working, and I felt like I wasn't the right fit at my job. And I was like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, I feel so stuck and I feel burned out because I feel stuck. And that's the pain. That's the pain we want to address. And so number one is easy. When did you last feel pain? You're probably here because you have some sort of burnout that you want to address, some sort of pain that this burnout is causing. And then the next question is, how did your body react to it? Like, how is it feeling? Like, was it like tense? Was it cold? Was it hot? Was it sweaty? And then third, what did you do about it? Like, how did you first address those thoughts? And it doesn't have to be just burnout, right? It could be, like you dropped a glass of water and then, oh crap, like that's not good. And then you like tense up, and what do you do about it? You clean up after it. So you already know how to solve problems. So take a look at how you solved problems before. You likely have faced something like this before, whether it's burnout, whether it's overwhelm, whatever it is. You must have dealt with something like this before, and take stock at how you actually know how to deal with situations like that. And then we can even start from there. And the last point here, it doesn't have to be extreme. Like I said, it can just be a glass of water that you spill over, right? And also, real quick, you might be wondering, like, who is this little hen over here? That's my digital pet, Ellen. I just like to bring her on to my presentations because I'm a fan of not taking things too seriously. So here's the thing. Why is it important? Why is it important to address our pain? Because so many times, pain that is not transformed is transferred. And a lot of you might be nodding. Oh my gosh, I remember the last time I was lashing out at my child, the last time I was lashing out at my partner, the last time I was lashing out at my friend. You know that it didn't come out of nowhere. There was something going on in the back of your mind. Maybe you had a bad day that was transferred on to somebody else. So this is not just about us anymore. It's about the people we love and the people we care about. And that's why it's so important. So how do we convert the pain? Number one, list your past, present, and future pain. Like, what are the things that you've gone through before that you never ever want to experience again? The things that you're going through right now that is really like tugging away at you and causing this burnout. And what are the situations in the future that you're like, okay, I don't want that in my future ever. Thank you, period. Right? And turn them into goals. So number one, not enough time with family. I don't ever want to have a situation where I don't have enough time with family. If that is your pain, then flip it around. More time with family. Right? I feel burnt out physically and mentally. Actually, I want to feel great. I'm feeling great. And I want to start my own business. If that's something that you're like, oh, like really excited about, I think that's going to help me get out of my burnout. Then build a business. That's the thing. These are the new goals that you can focus on so that you can manage your burnout. And I'm pretty sure, here's what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, okay, Angela, this is about burnout, which means like we need more time to decompress and relax. And you're giving me more stuff to do. Don't you worry. I'm going to tell you more about creating time in a second. Okay. So before we get to that, before we get to creating more time and being at more ease and peace, let's talk about this. I understand though, there's not a single person probably on the planet who is not experiencing some sort of pain at some sort of level. But there are some types of suffering that we choose to have. Suffering is a choice and pain is a matter of fact, right? I think I heard somebody say that. So here's the question. Are you going to keep the pain? Are you going to choose to keep the pain? Or are you going to choose to let it go? Because if you choose to keep it, do you identify yourself as a pain keeper? You might be thinking, it's out of my control. My salary is out of my control. My schedule is out of my control. My baby is out of my control. My spouse is out of my control. Or I can't do it. I just don't have time. Now is not the right time. I just have so much going on. It's just so overwhelming. Like, is that a choice that you're making, or is it a matter of fact? Because what's the result? If these are the things that you're thinking, if these are the thoughts that you're choosing to think, here are the results. You stay stuck, you stay anxious, you maybe start stress eating. I certainly do that. Like, there are times when, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. For the next 24 hours, I need to eat every possible junk food and I need to decompress for a second. And sometimes I feel terrible afterwards and I realize, oh, you know what? It actually feels better to not eat junk food. But we're not always consistent. That's human, right? And we could also be distracting ourselves with not working. We could be distracting ourselves with working, distracting ourselves from the core problem, what to do with the pain, right? And see, look at this. Look at Ellen over here. She's giving you the stink eye. What's the root cause? Disbelief. Why are we keeping the pain? Because we don't believe. We simply don't believe that it's possible to get there, right? So number one, there's two types of disbelief. One is disbelief in the actual goal or the project. It's like, yeah, I can be an executive, I can be a partner or whatever, but it's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. If that's the belief that you have, of course it's never going to happen. They're not going to just like grant it to you like out of thin air. Of course, there are some times when we're blessed with certain blessings, but even those things, it's all because somewhere in our subconscious, we are manifesting it. Right? But if we, at the center of our core, don't believe in the goal that we're so passionate about, we're not motivated to convert that pain into a goal. We're not motivated to actually take action towards that goal. And number two is disbelief in yourself. This is the ominous, treacherous disbelief. I have tried, the thought could be, this is disbelief when it comes to weight loss, for example. I have been trying my entire life to lose 30 pounds. I've never been able to be successful at it. So therefore, I'm never going to be able to do it. Again, that fear of failure. We don't want to be disappointed. And that's okay. It's okay to have disbelief in yourself sometimes. I mean, that's only human. Like, we're operating on some sort of like the data from the past. And that's okay. Because we got to hold space for some of the past experiences that we've had that has led to the disbelief. But the first step to getting out of it is recognizing the fact that we have disbelief, because then we can choose to believe in ourselves. Okay. How do you turn disbelief into belief? The answer is in identity. So how do you identify yourself right now? How do you identify yourself? Are you a lawyer? Are you a reader? A lawnmower? Parent? Whatever, right? And how does that person act? Like, if you're lawyers, for example, obviously I'm gonna write to my client. That's how lawyers behave. Like, it doesn't feel awkward to be emailing my client or whatever. Another kind of subtle example is a voter. Okay, well, how does a voter act? Well, a voter votes. That's how voters behave. That's how they are. So there was a study where there were two groups. There was one group that identified themselves as a voter. Oh yeah, I am a voter. That's how they identify themselves. And then the other group was, oh, I am going to vote. I am going to vote for this election. The first group that identified themselves as a voter were 13% more likely to actually go and vote. Because when we are who we are, we live in that identity and we act as if that identity is us. And that's why, again, going back to being a lawyer, it's not weird that we're doing lawyer things because we're a lawyer. So then the question is, how does that person act? You get to decide what your identity is, right? And you get to decide, okay, I'm going to be a business person. I'm going to be a painter. And you go ahead and act as that person. There's no permission required from anybody. I'm a person who doesn't experience burnout. Of course, you might be thinking, oh, it's not that easy, but try it. Did you try it? Did you try it? Okay, let's make this a little bit easier. Identity creator. Okay, well, what kind of identity do I embody? What do I do? Like, I still don't know, Angela. Number one, what do you enjoy doing? I'm sure there's at least one thing that you enjoy doing, right? Could be something so mundane as chatting with people, or reading or writing, earning money, or being alone. It doesn't have to be something that other people enjoy. What is it that you enjoy? And two, why do you enjoy it? Hone in on the feeling that you get from the activity and continue to embody that feeling, because that feeling is going to really reinforce the identity that you want to become. And third, make it official. Add that ER, the OR at the end. Rainmaker, entrepreneur, connector, whatever it is that you want to be, that's going to be your North Star. And yes, can't happen overnight. We got to create time to do these things. And we got to make time for the things that energize us. So how do we do that practically speaking, though? I'll tell you here. 3 things that I do on a daily basis. Number one, I audit my time. So all of my time sucks is YouTube. Like there was one time I was on YouTube for like hours and I was shocked because I thought only like 10 minutes had passed. Instagram, a total time suck. Fights with my spouse. Oh my gosh, once we get into it, it goes on for hours, and that's a huge time suck. So then I have to start looking at, I have to start prioritizing the health of our relationship. What do I need to do to create more time from that time suck? 2, buy more time. There's actually more than 24 hours in the day. And people are like, what in the actual heck are you talking about? If you need more time for whether it's hiking to decompress from your burnout, whether you don't want to vacuum because vacuuming is just going to exacerbate the burnout situation, hire somebody, whether it's for vacuuming, whether it's for folding laundry or whatever it is. I know if you have never hired out before, which you, by the way, you do if you use like food delivery services, or if you even go to Walmart, like you pay for people to, like you're paying Walmart a profit because Walmart did all the work for you to get the product in front of you. I don't know if Canada has Walmart, but you know what I mean, right? So think about the ways you're already outsourcing in your life and how you can make it feel more comfortable outsourcing some of the other things that are draining your energy. Number 3, set boundaries. And here's the thing, so many people struggle with setting boundaries because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say no to my boss. I don't want to say no to my family. You don't have to say no to anybody except yourself. So formula is the if-then statement, very simple. If this activity doesn't make me feel good, then I will not spend time on it. You get to decide, okay, what is the thing that is making me not feel great and how can I get rid of it? What am I going to do about it? You can set boundaries for yourself. So perfect. You've created at least an hour in your day. So how do you spend that time? 3 questions. Number 1, how have others done it before? Even though you might feel like your goal is so crazy and so weird, maybe for some of you, there's always somebody out there who has done something like that. And ask for help, whether it's reading a book that they wrote or whether it's their time, whatever it is. Ask for help or see how they're doing it. 2, where are people doing it? You guys may know the author, James Clear. He wrote Atomic Habits. He says, join a community where your desired result is the norm, especially if you feel like you have this kind of like out of whack kind of goal. There's so many Facebook groups out there. It's so crazy. I probably am like part of 50 Facebook groups, and find a group where whatever you desire is normal. So like maybe it's like biking every weekend. Like to me, that's pretty crazy because that's like a lot of work for me. But to you, it might be like, that's something that lights up my heart. Find a group that does the same thing. And 3rd, who can help me do it? Hire a coach or a mentor, or even an assistant to help you find time and energy to look at your blind spots. One of the things that my coach asked me is, what are the things that you need to see that you're not seeing? Because there's always a blind spot. There's always a blind spot. How can we find it? And how can that help me with my life? So here's the key question that I want to leave you with. How can I make this the best thing that ever happened to me? Because if you probably look back in your life, all of the bumps and the treacherous waters that you had to survive actually turned out to be something that yielded better results for you. And so even right now, if you're going through burnout right now, ask that question again. How can I make this the best thing that ever happened to me? How can you capitalize on this experience? Maybe it's an opportunity for you to ask the questions that you've never asked yourself before, and that can give you a light bulb, or that can give you an idea, right? So that's it from me. That was pretty short, like a half an hour session. So thank you so much. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I am very active there. It's linkedin.com/in/it's Angela Han. Same thing on Instagram, even though I'm not as active on Instagram. So look at Ellen. She's all over the place. She's inside the box. She's on the box. She's outside the box because she is happy. She's happy as a clam, happy as a hen, because we were able to know exactly what we want. We're able to crush those limiting beliefs, and we were able to find the time to actually meet those goals. So I'm going to see if there are any questions here. Oh, okay. Sandra's here. Have any questions? Drop them in the chat. We have exactly a minute and 15 seconds. I'm like so grateful, and I'm like actually proud of myself for making it through 30 minutes, or like even less than that, because like these presentations, like this particular presentation, I did it in like 45 minutes. So I am super proud of myself. Now, I want to also read to you in this last minute, if no one has a question, I want to also share this this other quote. He who asks questions cannot avoid answers. And so many times we're always looking for the answer, but what we're really missing is the right question. So going back to the 3 ways to maximize your time, what are the questions that you need to be asking? How are other people, what are the questions other people are asking themselves? And where are they located? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram? What are they doing about it? And 3rd, I cannot encourage you to do this enough. Find a mentor, find a coach. And also, I'm a life coach, in case you didn't know, and I help you do exactly this. So connect with me on LinkedIn. We're at the top of the hour. So thank you so much. Bye.